From the New York City area, welcome to the Badass Counseling Show, where the master badass himself, Sven takes you deep and gives balm for the soul, baby.
Hey folks, it's really great to have you here. You have reached the Badass Counseling Show. I am Sven Erlandson, your host of this delightful adventure that we are on with you, whether you are tuning in from the Scandinavian countries or way down south in South Africa. It's great to have you here all across the United States and Canada. As far away as India and Japan, we have listeners around the world, and we love every last one of them because you contribute to the show. You send in your questions, you send in your comments, and you have been guests on the show. We've had guests from around the world, and it's been such a wild adventure to be on with you, and you continue to add and help us to grow and help our listeners to learn from your stories. So thank you for that. I am joined today in studio by KC in the booth. We are joined in spirit, in absentia, by Sophia the artist, ever present in spirit and in body, mind, and spirit, and technical abilities and all of that, and wit, sheer raw, biting but delightful wit. Rob the Rocket. Rob, what say ye?
How can I live up to that intro, Sven? But I'll do my best. See,
you exceed it. What's new and groovy, Rob?
I've been reading lately an article about reparenting, and I wonder if that's what you would call your approach, because I gave myself a hug today and I thought of you.
Oh, wow. That's a big piece of what we do. That fundamentally are going back. A piece of what we're doing is going back to that child that wasn't treated well, that didn't get their needs met, or maybe had very good parents, but what you were taught was perhaps not the best ways for getting your love needs met. And so reparenting that child, giving that child that love, or not just the love, but the messages of you matter or you are wanted. And you may think you got those messages, but very often we got mixed messages or underlying messages. And so, yeah, that's a piece of what we're doing. And so I am curious, Rob, was it a physical hug? How did you execute that physically?
Well, you can hug yourself, and I was reading an article about reparenting actually this morning, and it talked about giving yourself a hug.
I like that.
I'll try that.
I like that.
Sure enough.
I like that. And whether in spirit or in body, the idea of giving ourselves hugs and sort of falling in love with ourselves and beginning to appreciate who we are and seeing the wonder and the beauty in who we are, because far too many of us have heard so much of what isn't right with us, or you're not good enough, whether by parents or by siblings or by lovers or partners, and so those voices get stuck in our head. So I love it. Sounds like a great article. Hey, Rob, tell us about Vaughn.
All right, Sven, happy to. Vaughn wrote in and said, I have the fear of using my narcissistic behavior on others and children. I believe these traits developed from my past relationship, mid-20s. In my pursuit of happiness for myself, I fear pain. I understand the issues, but because of the wiring in my brain, I'm consistently reminding myself to live and let live. I need ways and techniques that I can use in my daily grind. I think I know the reason for these behaviors, but maybe there are deeper issues that I haven't thought about yet. I've hit rock bottom before and crawled back from it, but now I'm guarded, and I believe that's where these traits are coming from.
Vaughn, great to have you on the show.
Hi, how are you?
Lovely, thanks. All right, so let's start from the beginning. So you're fundamentally saying that you are engaging in narcissistic behaviors, is that correct?
Yes.
And what are these behaviors?
Your typical gaslighting, making the person feel good to get them in my reach. And then when I got them back in my reach or in my happy place, I'm going to put it, I back off. I push them away. I start just totally treating them like shit. I know that. But it's something that I need to address, because they're the mother of my children. Great mother. Yep, she's done her things. Read your book. Took her 2 years to heal, and now it's my turn. And that's, kind of what I'm reaching out for.
Fair enough. And I appreciate your honesty. It takes courage to be honest like that. So you sort of play some sort of manipulation there, if I'm hearing you correctly, to sort of get them close. And then once you get them close, then you treat them like shit. And then you start talking about the mother of your kids. And you earlier in your write-up, you had said, using my narcissistic behavior on others and children. So likely not just on your wife, or on the mother of your kids, but on your children as well. Is that correct?
I fear that I may use them as a tool.
And a tool for what? I had to plant some flowers today. It was hotter than hell, and I was out planting flowers today. And the tool I was using a spade, and I was using some cutters to cut back some weeds and so forth. The tool performs a function. So you were using them as a tool to perform what function in your life?
Normally, I push to do bigger and better things with them, whether it's, going to the beach, going outside, doing whatever. And I almost use that to get back at her, I guess, in a way, if that makes sense.
And so presumably the two of you are not still married.
No, we're divorced. We co-parent very well.
Okay.
Very well.
So you use those big things, and how do you doing big things for the kids get back at her?
I guess it brings her back to the fold, back to me. You know what I'm saying? I've already pushed her away. I've already, did the damage, and then I use that as a fishing rod. You know what I'm saying? Like a fucking lure. Come on back.
But wait a minute. Okay, just so I'm clear. So you're saying you use it to get her back, but a minute ago you said you use it to get back at her. Getting someone back is different from getting back at someone. Back at someone is, I'm going to get back at you. I'm going to punch you in the fucking face. Getting someone back is, I'm going to reel you in with my fishing line. So which is it? Or maybe it's both. I reel you back in and then I punch you in the fucking face. Not literally, I'm guessing, but say some more.
There's a lot of issues that happened in our 13, 14 years of being together, as you would put it, like a camel relationship.
Yep.
The take and give, whatever, reel back, whatever. And it's not revengeful because of what she did, because I can deal with that now. But at the same time, when things are going great, all right, now the narcissistic part comes out. I start throwing shit back. I start pushing her away. And now that she's has her own place and I have my own place, and she went through hell and is back. She's healed and whatever else. Now the opportunity there would be there, but I'm guarded in a way, and I use my children, as like I said, I make it like the greatest family life in the world, and then when I get comfortable, I go back to my fucking normal self, I guess.
Okay, and you're doing great. You're doing great here, Vaughn. So to help me clarify then, you guys co-parent very well together, and so you do these big things. You're using the kids as a tool, so you do these big things with the kids to make them happy and to make you look like a good parent. And then that reels her in, and he really does care, and gosh, he's a good dad. And that gets her coming back close to you. And is the desire then to hurt her? Is the thing that you're mad that she left you? Because you said you're not mad over the things she did when you were married. And I'll take your word for it. I will take your word for that. Is it that you're trying to get her back? Because you said before, I get him in my happy place, then I treat him like shit. Are you treating her like shit because you're trying to push her away because you don't want a relationship, because you're scared of her having a relationship? Or are you pushing her away because you're mad at her because she's happy and you don't want her to be happy because she left you? What's going on inside of you?
I guess it can become a combination of the both, maybe.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Do you want her back, yes or no?
I do.
Okay.
I do.
Okay, yes. Want her back. Okay. Are you mad at her?
Honestly, No.
Okay, then
But
why are you treating someone like shit that you aren't mad at?
it's not that I'm mad. It's that I have a fucking horrible, I tough to forget the things that she did.
Right. So those things that she did hurt you.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, and that makes you feel what feeling? Give me a feeling word, not a thought, a feeling word.
Hurt. Sad.
Hurt. Good. Fuck. You're good at fucking feeling words, motherfucker. This is great. Hurt and sad. Okay. And because it makes you feel hurt and sad, and you're doing great. Stay with me here, buddy. Okay. So you do these nice things. You're using them as a tool to try to get her close. You like having her close. You're manipulating your kids. You admitted it. I do these big things. I'm using them as a tool. You admit I'm using them. You admitted it, which is a brass balls admission. I respect you for admitting it. Okay, so I'm using it to get her close. But once I get her close, I can't forget the shit that she's done, and it hurts, and I feel this hurt inside. And so then I treat her like shit to push her away. But it's not that, but then you said, I'm not mad at her though. Okay. So then what it seems to indicate, either you're mad at her and you want to punch her in the face, because you did say, and I don't mean physically, literally punch her in the face. I mean that metaphorically. It's got to be either, it seems to me, it's either got to be, I want to hurt her back, because you did say earlier, you didn't say get her back, you said get back at her. And I even drew your attention to those words, get back at her. The first time you said it, you didn't say get her back, you said get back at her. And then you brought up the fishing rod analogy and getting her back. So either that fucking get back at her just happened to slip out and you are mad at her, or you get her close and then you get really afraid that she might hurt you again, and then you push her away.
I think that more the second one.
Okay, more. That is,
I really
wait,
do.
that is, okay, excellent. So, and I love your answer there. You said more. You didn't say it is the second one and not the first one. You said it's more the second one, which means it is partly the first one. So here's what we're going to do. You're going to give me a percentage, Daddy-O. What percent is it? I get afraid. I want her back, but I'm afraid she's going to hurt me again. What percent is it that I push her away? I treat her like shit because I'm afraid to get hurt again. And what percent is it I'm mad and I want to hurt her?
90-10.
90-10. You are so fucking honest. This is awesome. This is easy. You're great. So you are a little bit mad at her. If we're being honest, you are a bit mad at her.
Very little.
You are, right? You
Throughout
admitted
the
it.
years,
You said
I
a very little, but
is.
a little bit is a little bit. Okay. Nothing wrong with being mad. There's nothing wrong with being mad.
Yep.
Hurting someone, of course, is a separate thing. And you're discovering that when she hurt you, it still hurts right now, and you are afraid of it. So, because you're afraid of her, she has fucking power over you, dude.
Last 13 years. Absolutely.
Well, then that raises it. Okay, so how long you guys been divorced?
Going on 3 years.
Divorced 3 years. And you said you were married for 14 years, or you've known each other 14 years total?
We've been together, married maybe 8 total years.
Married 8 years. Okay. Gotcha. And then divorced 3 years. Got it.
Yeah.
And so let me ask you, is she actually wanting to get back together?
Yes.
Oh.
Yep.
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 She wants to get back.
I think she's very sincere about that. Yep.
Is she sort of saying, but you got to figure your shit out, otherwise I'm not going to do it?
No. She has said that, but this is more for me. Realizing that, I have issues, and there's no fucking doubt in that. That's why I'm seeking
Yeah,
you
okay.
and whatever else I can get.
Okay, this is really interesting because I normally tell people that people who are narcissists, and you're basically saying you're a fucking narcissist, or at least and loosely narcissist, not like clinical shit, but I have the fear of using my narcissistic behavior. So at least you're saying I have the behaviors of. So we'll go with that. You're admitting to it and you're wanting to change it. And I usually say people who are narcissists or extreme takers never change unless they're in a lot of fucking pain. And usually it's from losing someone, but she's saying she's willing to come back. So you're sitting in the catbird seat. Why the fuck would you change if she's willing to come back and you don't even have to change? Why are you wanting to change? It doesn't make sense. Why change if you get everything already?
Because I realize that the things that I do are not healthy. 100%.
But how does it harm you? How does it fucking harm you? Because change won't occur until the pain gets bad enough. What is the price to you in this whole fucking equation that's causing you to change your fucking behavior? Because I'm sorry, I don't go on a fucking diet until I can't bear to look at myself in the fucking mirror and I'm like, mother of God, you're disgusting, Sven. Go to the fucking gym. Jesus Christ. Okay. Well, it's the same with this. Nobody's going to fucking change until they're in so much pain. So what's your pain?
I'm going to back up a little bit.
All right.
Yeah. And, you always talk about your childhood and your parents and stuff like that.
Right.
And I really had good parents. Okay. Both supportive. They were good, but not good together. If that makes sense.
Yes.
They should have not been together. And I went through hell growing up, one pulling this way, one pulling that way. Very supportive, each one. But together, I didn't have that family dynamic, okay? They never talked. One slept on the couch, one did whatever. And I grew up kind of having to tend for myself, but they were still to this day. I talk to them still to this day, every day. Very good, very supportive, the whole 9 yards. So I'm not going to take that away from them. But that dynamic of what they're doing or what happened, I'm following in the same fucking footsteps with how they are with, let's say, my mother and my children.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
It makes total sense. And so what?
And I guess that's not the core belief that I want. Okay. I want to, I've always wanted a loving family, a mother and a father to be together, the family dynamic. And I'm going right down the same footsteps as my parents.
So what you're fundamentally telling me, unless I'm hearing you incorrectly, which wouldn't be the first mistake I've made today, you're no better than your parents.
I'm a fucking spitting image of them.
How does that feel?
That's what I'm here to talk to you about.
And
trying to figure this shit out.
Answer the question. How does that feel to know you're no better than your fucking parents?
It hurts.
Why does that hurt?
Because I want to do better for my own children.
So it's an admission then that they really screwed the pooch in the raising of you.
In certain aspects, yes.
Okay. Let me ask you this. What percent, if you were to be totally honest, what percent was mom a good parent? What percent was mom a bad parent? All things considered. Not just they were good parents, but together. And you said, I went through hell, had to tend for myself. And I'm seeing, and you're saying the reason you're changing all this shit is you're realizing, Jesus Christ, I'm just like them. So that must be not such a good fucking thing. So I'm curious, what percent was mom a good parent? What percent was mom a bad parent? If you were to be totally honest.
80-20.
80-20. What percent was dad a good parent? What percent was dad a bad parent?
About 70-30.
70-30, fair enough. And just out of curiosity, you had mentioned earlier that your wife had all the power in the relationship, or a lot of the power in the relationship. Recognizing that power, there are a lot of things playing into any power situation. There's fear. Like in a marriage, there's there's power over the money. There's the power over the kids. There's fear of what your parents might think of me. There's fear of you holding out on me, fear of your fucking nagging, fear of you hitting me. There's all sorts of fears and powers playing out in a relationship. What was the power breakdown in your relationship with your wife? Who had what percent of the power?
I'm going to say 80-20. She made all of the hard, whether to leave, not to leave, and this and that. I basically just went along with it.
Sure, fair enough. And just out of curiosity, what was the power breakdown in your mom's and dad's relationship? In their relationship with each other, who had what percent of the power?
My mother. 80-20 probably.
Oh, how about that? Just like you and your wife. Just out of curiosity, it makes you giggle, doesn't it? Boy, those patterns repeat. Just out of curiosity, what percent of your dad's parenting did you deliberately use in the parenting of your own children?
Very similar. You want a percentage of?
Yeah.
You break it down. I'm probably 80% like that.
Okay, and what percent of mom's parenting did you use in the parenting of your kids?
40%. I know them don't really.
No, they don't have to. They don't have to equal 100%. I'm just saying of mom's parenting technique, what percent did you deliberately use in the parenting of your kids?
Probably 40%.
And what percent of dad's parenting did you deliberately use in the parenting of your kids? If you were to look at all of mom's parenting technique and style and so forth, of all the things that she did, what percent of what she did you deliberately use in the parenting of your kids?
So my father would probably be 75-80%. My mother probably 30-40%. How's that sound?
I see. So you didn't use much of your mom's parenting technique in the parenting of your kids.
The drive, the love. I tell my kids I love them every day. Okay, and the drive to keep them straight. They're younger. They're 8 years old. The emotional support, the emotional support. Of it. Yes, that would be her part.
Okay, but the point is that of all of her style and technique and all the things your mom did in her sort of method of parenting a kid, you only took 30%. You only really chose 30% of hers in the deliberate parenting of your kids.
Yeah.
Okay. That's really an interesting number, and we'll look at why that is right after this short break.
I had a really good start in my life, and I've been successful in my career, but I have to say I've learned so much and improved my outlook on life since I met Sven and picked up a copy of Badass Wisdom. With the daily meditations as journaling prompts, I've uncovered a lot of memories that weren't totally pleasant. With Sven's guidance, I've achieved some new understanding, and honestly, I feel lighter. Badass Wisdom is a great read, in nice small bites, and I think anyone can benefit from it. So go to badasscounseling.com and get the book or the audiobook. It could change your life.
This show provides soul counseling intended to entertain and inform and is not medical advice. Now, back to the badass.
And we are back with Vaughn talking about his parents here. Vaughn, before we pick up where we left off, I have a different question. We were talking about the power between your wife and you said she has 80% of the power and you have 20% of the power. And then same with your mom and your dad. Just out of curiosity, why do you give up 4 times as much power as you retain? She has 80% of the power. Why do you choose that? Or why? There's nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong. You can have whatever the fuck you want. It's your marriage. There's no right or wrong answer for any relationship. Every couple is different. But I'm just curious why.
I was desperate back in the day, maybe. I'm not saying that,
you were desperate. And so because you were desperate, that's a fair answer. Because I was desperate, what does that mean? You were desperate for a woman. And so it's like, if you'll be my wife, I'll let you have the power. or I was desperate as in she was a raging bitch. And so it's just like, fuck, I'll just give you the power so you'll shut the fuck up. Or was it something else? What do you mean?
Maybe, well, here we go. I couldn't do better. How's that sound?
I couldn't do better. Wow. And because I couldn't do better, how does that correlate then to the giving her the power? Because I couldn't do better, I gave her power. What is that? How do those two things go together?
The big decisions, the push comes to shove, whether she's leaving or not leaving, whether whatever, I went with it just for the simple fact that maybe I wouldn't lose that. You know what I'm saying?
So it's fear of losing her. Because I can't do better, I'll do anything to keep you. Right. That makes sense. Yeah. All right. Now it's sort of the pieces are sort of coming together here. And just out of curiosity, so then in your parents' power relationship, in the power in their relationship, did you ever, I mean, you probably never thought about it as a kid, when you're 13 years old. It appears mom has 80% of the power and dad has 20% of the power. No, you didn't think like that in all likelihood. But you probably recognize that mom was sort of the boss. What did you think of that? Or how did that feel knowing mom was king shit?
She's very successful and did every, very still to this day.
That's fair. I am curious then. So back to that number, you said when you thought about dad's parenting technique, you used 75 to 80%, deliberately used 75 to 80% of dad's parenting technique in the parenting of your children. You gave that number. In the parenting of your children, you have deliberately used 30% of your mom's parenting technique. The odd part about that number is that earlier you had said mom was 80% a good parent. If mom was 80% a good parent, why did you only use 30% of her parenting technique? Why not use 80% of her parenting technique? If she's so fucking good, then it makes sense. You would have used far more of her parenting technique, but you're like, I'm only using 30% because the other 70% is shit.
The 30%, I think, is what matters the most.
So wait a minute. The 30% is what matters the most. So the rest of her parenting technique really doesn't matter.
Correct.
So most of her parenting technique really didn't matter.
In a way. I mean, I guess
you didn't use it. You basically threw it out. Yep. You've only used 30% of her parenting technique.
And the 80% that I got from my father, that's what I used for the other part.
And so the bulk of her parenting technique that she used was basically fucking worthless.
He wasn't around a lot.
I see. What was the effect on you of a mother who wasn't around a lot?
Did it myself.
Did what yourself?
The daily fundamentals, the cooking and cleaning, the physical part of things, okay? Mm-hmm. Now, the emotional side of things, my mother was there. The support, the I love you, the, making sure that, my schooling and stuff was taken care of and, that aspect of things.
Okay. What's the earliest age you recall cooking and cleaning and so forth?
Probably 8 years old.
And so just out of curiosity, what do you think of the idea of an 8-year-old cooking and cleaning?
Well, I teach my boys that. I think it's a good thing.
I see. And so is it knowing how to cook and clean is a good thing, or cooking and cleaning for yourself at 8 years old because the parents aren't around is a good thing? My mother taught us 6 kids how to cook and how to clean and iron, how to darn my own socks, how to use not just a sewing machine, but a cam sewing machine and fucking all that shit and garden, but never in my life Was I expected to fucking cook and clean for the whole goddamn family? Or was mom or dad not there? Or if we were, yeah, we could pick up one meal or something. Fine. But cooking and cleaning, you're saying the fundamentals of life, you basically had to do on your own. Learning it is one thing. Having to do it like every day, that's a completely, we're talking about neglect. You realize that, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
what's the either we are or we aren't. You said I was responsible for the fundamentals of life.
Correct.
You teach your boys how to cook and clean. But the question is, when your boys are with you, are you doing the cooking and the cleaning? Or are you there cooking and cleaning with them?
With them.
Well, so you're not using that fucking parenting technique. You're not. You threw that shit out the window. Why aren't you leaving them there to cook and clean for themselves?
Well, because I want to provide them something that I didn't have, let's say.
Right. And also because there's this thing called CPS, Child Protective Services, that would fucking come and say, hey, dude, where the fuck are you and why are your kids having to cook and clean for themselves? That's borderline. I mean, that's like right in the realm there of fucking neglect. And so the fact that you're there with your kids is the difference between you and your mom.
Correct.
She said, I love you. Great. But did her actions back it up?
Not at the time.
And I love you, Vaughn, and you are being so fucking honest, and you're a fucking mensch for doing it. I respect the hell out of you for doing it, because this is ugly ass shit. This is probably not where you wanted to go today, but you're going there, and I respect you for it. But let me ask you then, you said not at the time. I asked, she said she loved you. I believe you. I asked, did her actions back it up? You said not at the time. So then when did her actions back up the love?
She had a heart-to-heart apologize to me as we got older.
Yeah. Wait a minute. So then she's acknowledging that I fucked you.
Yep.
Oh, wow.
Her exact words were, as you guys grew up, I wasn't there. Now that we have grandkids, I'm going to be there for them.
God bless her, man. That's all right.
She's good.
Yeah,
good.
And God bless her. I respect the apology.
Mm-hmm.
I respect the, change action. I respect that. But that doesn't change the fact that the damage gets done. And I'm sure she's a good woman. And our listeners can't hear it right now, but you're tearing up, aren't you? There's nothing wrong with that, man. That's good. That's your own emotions coming out. But isn't it fascinating? Dude, I cry all the time in the show. Rob was crying last episode when we were talking about whatever we were talking about. He admitted it right on the air. So we do it. Nothing wrong with that, dude. That's real shit. That means you're being real, daddy-o. Okay. But you didn't start crying until we came to right now. Why now? Why are the tears coming now? And what are you feeling? Talk to me, brother. You are doing so great.
I wish better for my children in the situation that I'm in. I don't want that on them. Not saying that, they don't fend for themselves. Me and her.
Why did you start crying when we talked about the fact that mom admitted she wasn't there for you?
I don't know.
How does it make you feel? You are so good. You've been so good at naming feelings. You said hurt and sad earlier. How does it make you feel to know that your mom wasn't there and she fucking openly admits it? She used the words of love, but she wasn't there in actions. How does that make you feel?
Sad, I guess, but I'm over it.
You're not over it. Otherwise you wouldn't be crying.
No.
You're not over it. And I know you want to move on, but you can't. This is the point. All of this shit from back there, for as much as you want to move on and not think about it because it hurts so fucking much, that is the shit that is fucking you up right now with your ex and with your kids. And let me tell you why. Because you're about to answer a question for me right now It's going to help us. And the question is, why did your mom feel the need to apologize for not being there for you boys? I mean, she told you she loved you. Why would not being there be a bad thing? You admitted yourself that learning how to cook and clean and fend for yourself, that's a good thing. So what was missing? Why was it a bad thing? She told you loved you. She loved you. So why would there be a need to apologize? What's the effect on a child that she was apologizing for?
Realizing that she lost a lot of time with us.
But what's the effect? But why would she apologize? She lost. If I lose a $50 bill at Rob's studio, I don't apologize to Rob. I feel sad for myself. I don't feel bad for Rob because that motherfucker probably found it and fucking, I mean, he's so honest. He'd probably say, hey, who lost his $50 bill? And about 5 people would raise their fucking hand. But the point is, if she lost time with you, why would she apologize to you? She lost something. Her apologizing to you implies you lost something, implies it hurt you somehow. I apologize to someone when I've hurt them. So by her apologizing, she's implying that she hurt you. And the mere fact that you started to tear up at the thought, it implies that it did hurt you. So did your mom's absence for all those years hurt you?
Looking now at it, yes. Yeah.
And isn't that why you want to do better for your kids?
I want to give them that I missed out on.
Because it hurts. Because it hurt, right? Because all the words in the world didn't matter. You ain't here. I'm alone. What is the effect on a child that your mother was apologizing for? What is the effect of a mother or a father not being present? What's the effect on the insides, the guts, the feelings, the emotions of a child? What does it make them feel? What does it make them think about themselves? What did it make you feel in your house when mom's not there? Maybe dad's not there either. Loneliness. That makes total sense. Is loneliness a happy feeling?
Struggling with that now, but I'm getting better with it. How's that now?
Sure, now. But back then, was loneliness a happy feeling?
Back then, I didn't know any better.
Was loneliness a happy feeling?
No. I mean, really, no.
Very sad, right? And one of the things that happens inside the mind of a child is if there is no positive messaging being poured into a child, not just in words, but in actions, where someone wants to be with the child. Dad wants to go fishing, or mom wants to teach. My mom taught me how to make bread from scratch, taught us how to make waffles out of the old red Betty Crocker cookbook using bacon grease as your oil and all this shit. Taught us everything, right? It wasn't that now I know how to make waffles and use an old cast iron waffle iron. It's that I was side by side with my mother doing something. I was side by side with my father learning how to plant marigolds, learning how to transplant, learning how to move fucking bushes, all this stuff. Side by side. That's the value. That this person wants to be with me. This person wants to teach me. This person that I love and admire so much just wants me around. In other words, I matter. I matter so much. They want to be with me. So if that person is not there, what it means is they don't want to be around me. And so the child's brain begins to construct a story. I must not be very important. I'm not important. I'm no good. And what's fascinating is when you meet the missus And you said, I was desperate. I couldn't do better. I feared losing her. In other words, you believed that you weren't worth much. No one would want to be with me. I just don't want to be alone. I'll do anything. I'll even give you all the power. Just please, for the love of God, please don't leave me. Just like all those years as a kid. See, the message that got pressed into the wets, and I'm not saying your parents are bad people. I ain't saying that. I don't need you to confront your parent in order to heal you. I don't give a fuck what your relationship is with your living, breathing parent. But the bottom line is that you were taught things about yourself. Whether they intended to or not isn't the point. The point is they did, and her apologizing doesn't make that message go away. And we see it's still there because you're still acting on that. You're terrified of being alone. Why? Because you were terrified as a fucking child. And guess what? Any child in that same situation would feel the exact same fucking way. That's a good chunk of my clients right there. We're neglected. We're left alone. They hate being alone because it is so scary and it's so lonely and it's so sad. And, God bless your mom for apologizing for that. God bless her. That's beautiful. I respect that. But it doesn't change the fact that all that hurt is still in there. And you're like, I'm over it. I want to move forward. No, you're not over it. It's still in you. All that pain is still in you. What are you feeling right now? I see you tearing up, and I respect that. Talk to me. What are you feeling right now?
No, I agree. It's yeah. I'm just got to incorporate it in my daily life with what's going on.
And actually what has to happen, and again, I need you to hear me loud and clear on one thing above all else. I don't need you, and you don't need to have any kind of confrontation with your living, breathing mother or your living, breathing father. You don't have to. In order for you to heal, you don't have to change a damn thing about that relationship with your parents. You don't. But you do have to go back to that parent that is inside of you. And those from back there, mom that's inside of you, not the living, breathing one, not the one that you can actually physically touch. Hi, I'm mom. I'm wearing a dress, whatever. I'm wearing my fucking jumper, whatever. Not that mom, not that dad, the one, whatever. I'm driving a car, not that dad. I mean the one that's inside of you. That one has to be slain. Those feelings from back there are fucking with your life so bad. They are fucking with your kids. They are fucking with your marriage so bad. You can't fucking see straight. I have a question. You had said in your write-up, you said, I know the reason for these behaviors. We're discovering maybe they're a bit deeper than you had thought. But you actually did say that. You said, but maybe there are deeper issues than I haven't thought about yet. To your credit, you were bingo. That's a bingo on that one. And then you said, I've hit rock bottom before and crawled back from it. Does that mean you're sort of at rock bottom now? Is that sort of what you're implying?
No. That was
then what was the purpose of including that sentence? I've hit rock bottom before and crawled out from it, but now I'm guarded and I believe that's where these traits are coming from. Why mention rock bottom? I'm just curious.
I was in a lot deeper place, I think, once upon a time. I'm better now as I progress. So
okay, that's fair. What I'm telling you is, in order for you to not be a fuckstick to your kids and use them as tools, in order for you to not just be present to them, but actually heal your shit so that you're really there and loving and kind and also teaching and firm and tough with them when you got to be tough, all those things, right? And in order for you to no longer be afraid in a love relationship, you got to go in. This isn't stuff you incorporate. This isn't stuff you just sort of skim over. No, you got to go into this pain from the past. And you got to open up that vault door. Those memories, those feelings, the very ones you don't want to touch. And it means saying that the mom of my childhood, I'm not talking about the mom now. Remember, I'm not talking about dad now. But the dad of my childhood fucked me. And I guarantee if we were taking time right now on dad, we'd find it. And it's there. Because he fucked you too. Because in a way, at the very least, he didn't protect you from mom fucking neglecting you and mom being absent. Or at the very least. And we don't know what else. We didn't even get into dad. But mom fucked you. She did. And she even admitted it, for fuck's sake. She admitted it and apologized to it. She said, she didn't use this words. I'm sure she's much more, refined than I am, but I fucked you. She admitted it. And so now what we're trying to do is, that doesn't make the pain go away. And also that doesn't take away the beliefs that she taught you about yourself. And part of what she taught you about yourself is you ain't worth much. I can't do better. I got to be with a woman who basically, it sounds like I couldn't do better and I was desperate. That kind of implies that your wife may not be the nicest person or doesn't always treat you well, or I could do better implies you don't think a lot of her. When you said those things, first thing I wrote down is it possible you don't want her? Because you don't really speak very well of her.
Deep down, I do.
Okay, that's fair. But what?
Deep down.
But what?
Hurdles, like I said, of what happened.
What's the biggest thing she did that was something that, quote unquote, happened? What's the biggest thing she did that hurt you? In one sentence or less, the single biggest thing, regardless of what anybody else on earth thinks of it, what was the single biggest thing she did that hurt you? Tell me right now.
Affair.
Oh, for the love of God. Of course that hurt. Did you have any sort of affairs on her? Not that would justify it, but you had, yes or no?
Not one. Not one.
So your wife cheated on you?
Yes.
Classy. Got it. And did you divorce her because she cheated on you?
She divorced me.
She divorced you? Oh.
And that was a couple of years, even after 4 years after the affair.
And just out of curiosity, what's the reason she gave for divorcing you?
I checked out.
Oh, yeah, no shit, I checked out. You ask anybody who's gone through fucking being cheated on, ask them if they checked out or if it just fucking blew their minds and blew their worlds and it fucking ruined them. Ask them if they fucking checked out when they got cheated on. I guarantee you almost every single one is going to say, yeah. Yeah. Why? Motherfucker, I thought I could fucking trust you. What the fuck? And now you want to blame me? You want to divorce me and say I'm checking out? I'm the fucking problem? Bitch, you fucking cheated on me, and I'm not a big fan of calling a woman a bitch, but I'll call a man a bitch if you cheat on somebody. Really? But I'm the asshole? You're going to divorce me? And I'm just curious. And now she wants you back?
Yeah. Yeah, she wants, yeah. Yep.
Vaughn, I like you so much more than I did at the beginning of this fucking session. Rob, talk to me here, Rob.
I understand what you're feeling, and I think our listeners also are identifying with a lot of this. So often we think that we are fully in touch with our feelings, but there's just so much more that we haven't looked at. And I'm always reminded of that old thought that life is like an onion. You peel it off layer by layer, and sometimes you cry. And that's where we're at here.
Vaughn, I'm just curious, and there's no right or wrong answer. Everybody handles infidelity differently. Some people choose to say, hey, you cheat, fuck you, I'm gone. Boom, done. Some people say, hey, let's work through it. Some people put up with multiple infidelities from a spouse. Some people get cheated on and say, oh, good, thank you. Now I'm going to go fucking cheat on someone. Or not cheat on someone. I'm going to go fucking have an affair with somebody, and you're going to stay because it'll be my little fuck you to you, and then we'll get back to business. So everybody handles it differently. So there is no right or wrong, Vaughn, all right? And no one can disparage you for how you chose to handle it. No one. Because until a person's been in it, you don't know how it fucks you up, okay? I am curious. Why did you choose to not divorce her because she cheated on you?
We talked it out, and it was good for a while.
And what was going on deep down inside of you? Is it possible that what was going down deep inside of you, Vaughn, was, I couldn't do better? And there was a fear of losing her, and I'll do anything. Just please don't leave me alone.
Yeah. That's what it boils down to.
Isn't it fascinating, Vaughn, how the shit from way back there in childhood is still driving the equation?
Yeah.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah. And so as a result, what has to happen is we have to go back into that childhood and begin to name, as my mom said for her 93 years, and she did this shit long before I did, naming the beast is half the problem. Naming the beasts of your childhood and allowing all of those feelings up, the rage and the anger at mom, at dad, the sadness over how you felt as a child, the loneliness that you felt. You were all alone. And a child will construct a belief system in there. I must be no good. They don't want to be around me. I'm no good. I'm unimportant. Nobody wants to be with me. And you know what? We do that as adults. So if we do it as adults, of course we would fucking do it as a child. And if that is reinforced year after year for 18 years, the beginning of our life, of course that becomes our belief system. That's what your mom was apologizing for, whether she was aware of it or not. So you got to go back in that fucking vault. And that's what I wrote the book for. There's a hole in my love cup. And you have to go back into that book with that framework, that if you are not willing to indict, to condemn the parenting of your parents back then, not all of it, but the parts where they fucked up. And again, you don't have to change your relationship with mom and dad today. You don't ever have to confront them. I don't give a fuck what your relationship is with them today. You can have a glorious relationship with them today. But you do have to rage on the parents of your childhood. You do have to feel that pain. And it has to come out in your journaling, in writing letters to them that you don't send. The letters to your the parents of your childhood. You have to reparent that child by protecting that child, by calling out the parents that they were, getting out that pain, because a crime was committed against you. And it's still eating you up right now, and it's impacting your own children. Does any of that make any sense, Vaughn?
Yeah. It definitely can see where you're coming from.
What's your skepticism, or what's your question?
Trying to imply it, and trying to imply it to my life now. Yeah, I understand where you're coming from.
Applying it, right. How do I apply that to my life now? You mean like your everyday life with your wife and with your kids?
Correct.
Okay, ex-wife, sorry. Let me put it to you this way. I understand how that is your desire. And to be totally honest with you, I'm just going to give you the total straight answer, and it's going to be the most frustrating as fuck answer. Vaughn, you're trying to solve the equation up here on the level of behaviors and actions. The solution is not up there. You think it is, and that's what you want. Behaviors to give you. I'm not that guy. And I have a chapter in the book. Maybe you haven't gotten that far. Trying to change.
No, I read it.
Okay, trying to change behaviors doesn't change behaviors long term. Nothing's going to change up there. I'm not going to give you any fucking thing up there. It's got to change down here at the level of core beliefs, because until those fucking change, which means getting out the pain, the fears, and the bullshit beliefs you've been taught about yourself, until you change those, Nothing's going to change up there. And then you're like, okay, yeah, but what are those changes in behaviors going to be? And what I'm telling you is when you get out the pain, the fears, and the bullshit beliefs you've been taught about yourself, the behaviors will become obvious. You want to know why? Because what's going to change, Vaughn, one of the fundamental beliefs that's going to change is this belief that I can't do any better. It's going to change to fuck that. That's what it's going to become. I don't necessarily mean fuck your ex-wife. I mean, fuck this notion that you have 80% of the power. Fuck the notion that I can't do better. You know what? I actually can. You want to know why? Because the underlying belief of I can't do any better is I'm no good. The underlying belief of fuck that is I am good. See, the underlying message that a parent teaches a child when they neglect that child, the underlying message, the message behind the message behind the action they're teaching that child is you're no good. You're unlovable. You're not worth a shit. You're not worth my spending time around. So by you getting out all that shit out of the vault deep down inside of you, what's going to change is you're going to begin to believe in yourself. I mean, not I believe in me. Nothing. You're not going to have to force it because all those other crappy messages are going to be out of you. Because way down deep inside of you is this core belief that I actually am good. That's how we're created. This belief in self. And so it's going to be like, no, wait a minute, I am good. And you know what? You don't get to treat me that way. And I'm not going to allow it. I literally can do as good or better than you. And if you treat me this way, fucking day to day, you know what? You need to apologize for what you just said, sweetheart. That hurt. And I don't like it. And it's got to fucking stop. All right? Shit like that. And you won't be afraid to stand up for yourself. The reason we're afraid to stand up for ourselves is because you might leave. And I can't bear the thought of you leaving. Right? So it's going to play out in all sorts of actions, but it won't stick if you don't change the core beliefs first. That's why I'm trying to drag your fucking butt down into that vault to look at and feel the ugly ass shit. So any final questions from me besides that? And so the answer is you got to go back into Love Cup, man. You got to go back in there with a whole different mentality of one fundamental change. I need you to make one fundamental change in going back into there's a hole in my love cup. I need you to make one fundamental change. And that is, I need you to put this notion that mom and dad were good parents, which in certain things, yes, they were. I'm not disputing that. And yes, you love them today. I just want to put that part on ice over here. We're going to keep that part sacred. But the rest, if you are not willing to sort of unleash hell on, if you are not willing to get out all the feelings of rage, sadness, anger, hatred, fucking sorrow, all of the heaving, grieving pain and sadness of that little boy out, and it's scary as fuck. And I don't blame you for not wanting to do it. I don't. Because that's a good portion of my clients. But if you're not willing to do that, dude, you're not going to heal. So you got to be willing to go in. And you got to approach the book from that mentality that I want to go into that vault and I'm willing to just look at the truth. So the real question is this: what % of the truth do you want, Vaughn? So answer me. I'm curious. What % of the truth, the real truth of your childhood do you want?
All of it.
All right. Then if that is true, and I believe you, then you've got to go into Love Cup saying, I'm not going to treat my parents, and I don't mean the living, breathing parents. I'm not going to treat the parents of my past like they were just saints and everything's fine, or they did a few little things wrong. No, your mom is admitting massive neglect. And you've got to go in with the mentality of, I'm here not to protect my parents. I'm here to heal the boy that was little Vaughn. I'm going in to protect the boy, which means calling out anybody who hurt that little fucker. And I'm there to get that little guy out of there. Does any of this make any sense?
Yeah.
And what's going to change is your entire relationship with your ex, if you choose to have one. And you're going to become stronger. And that power of 80% and you have 20%, you might see that it changes. And what you're going to find is how you choose to parent your boys is going to be more reflective of what feels right to you. And how you choose to be in your relationship, it's going to be a relationship that feels more good to you and not just, I'm afraid of you leaving me. Listen, brother, the final question is simply this. What are you feeling right now? If you were to be totally honest, give me a feeling word. Be totally honest.
Clarified?
That's fair.
Is that it, I guess?
Yeah.
Clearer?
Clearer. That's fair.
I wouldn't say healed by no means.
No,
but
God, no.
Clear.
No, you
Clear.
wouldn't be healed from one conversation. There's no fucking way. Yeah. But clearer is good because that helps you have a path. But the bottom line is you got to go in. You got to start clearing that shit out. Got to go back into Love Cup. And this is heavy lifting shit. Childhood shit is heavy lifting, but it doesn't have to take forever. But I really admire you for what you did today, Vaughn. I really admire you. And there's hope. And you can do this shit. As far as changing the behaviors, just got to get down and change those beliefs and get out the crud. And you can do it, brother.
Thank you.
You bet. Thanks for coming on the show. Rob, any final thoughts?
There are a few more self-defeating thoughts than I couldn't do any better.
No.
That occurs to me. What also occurs to me, despite your saying that there are many different reactions to being cheated on, my own feeling and opinion is there's no greater primal anger than the thought or the sight of seeing your partner in carnal contact with another person. And I don't know how one can easily get past that despite their attitude about it.
No, and there is no easily past it. There's no easily with regard to that. That's just, it's like any sort of death and loss and break of trust and betrayal.
And until you experience it, you have no idea how intense it is.
Yeah, that's right. And
you can think about it, but it is different when you're in it.
That's exactly right. And it requires massive grieving and raging. And you got a lot of feelings in there just on, he's right, just on the fucking betrayal. And
so let it out, Vaughn.
Let it out, Vaughn. That's exactly right. On behalf of my team here in the New York City area, thank you so much for tuning into the Badass Counseling Show and listening to Vaughn's great openness. It's been fantastic. To all of our listeners around the world, have a kick-ass day.
The Badass Counseling Show is strictly copyrighted. No copies may be made without the express written consent of the Badass Counseling Show, LLC. The Badass Counseling Show is produced by Karen Camparelli and Robert H. Friedman. Executive producer Sven Erlandson. Original music by two-time Emmy Award-winning composer Trevor Morris. Have a kick-ass day.